Well, I didn't know how to really communicate my beliefs to my friends. I mean, I had a lot of pressure to become Christian. You know, we're kind of on the same page. I'm just different than you. I think if I was in a public school, it wouldn't be so much pressure.
It doesn't really come up that often. No one's like, so, what's your major? What's your religion? Well then. So it hasn't been a problem for me.
It's kind of slightly weird and awkward, but I'm comfortable enough with myself that I kind of don't care what others think. So when I tell them, I kind of either expect two reactions, one being what is it, and the other one being okay. But I just have a tendency of staying away from that topic line so I don't accidentally push away a fairly good friend or a possible good friend. So.
The God, like where I worship, there's no such place over here where I go to church and everything. So I kind of miss that live at Columbus, Georgia. There are like two small temples available for Hindus, Hindu temple. Yeah, sometimes they do that. Like, why don't you try to come to church with us and all that? I say I can't really do that because I'm not Christian, and in my family nobody does that. So.
I think if they're trying to convert me, I kind of get a little defensive after a little while if they don't, I don't mind people sitting down and us talking about different religions and why we, see things differently, and, and again, that education level goes up for both of us. But if they, after that, keep, trying to do the conversion thing, I think it gets a little bothersome. I think I get a little bit of negativity after that.
It's certainly annoying. I mean, personally, I think that just trying to convert people by pestering them is really, it's not a good strategy, I personally feel. If I was a really religious person, of a certain faith and practice, I don't think the best way, at least if it was my interest, to show people the way, I don't think pestering them would be the right technique. I might be very enthusiastic, and that's all I would probably talk about. I also personally don't like the attitude that there can only be one way or one proper way. I think that really overlooks a lot of similarities. Also, it's just kind of an insult to the diverse traditions in the world, even their own, to just simplify it that it's the greatest, therefore follow it or listen to it. I think the wisdom should speak for itself, and if it doesn't, then
it should attract people to it on its own.
So it goes.
That dialogue between religions and people of religious diversity is really important, and I think that needs to be kind of kick-started here at Berry, because even though we do have our interfaith ways of connecting, I think what happens is, though it's not a bad thing, the only people that come are of minority religions. And I think
or
kind of pluralists
people,
but I think kind of the half hope behind that had been to include everyone, not just minority religions. Yes, it is a place for people of minority religions to go and find people of a like mind, but it was kind of also built to help the education process, and let that kind of work outward in the community of Berry and, keep going. And I feel like that kind of hasn't been happening as much as we had hoped. And so I kind of hope this documentary will help that as well, as getting that dialogue kind of move it further along.
I am a very liberal Christian.
Okay.
I don't really affiliate myself with a specific religion.
Do you guys know anybody of minority religions or alternative religions on campus?
Just a couple.
Yeah, mine are like half and half. I know half that are really like uber Christian, and then half that are, I don't know what I am. Or I know what I am and it ain't you.
Do you feel like they get to talk about it a lot, or is it kind of muffled?
muffled.
Yeah.
Mostly it's like when they find out that I'm not Christian, they like ask me a bunch of questions and stuff, and it seems like they're sort of attacking me sometimes. So, yeah, and then sometimes like when they ask me like the Jesus question, like are you saved or whatever by Jesus, and I'm like, well, I don't believe he died on the sins, like on the cross for our sins, and they're like, oh, you know, it's like, why does that make me go to hell or something? And they're like, no, basically. So
What would help the situation?
I think if they took the time to see the similarities between all of the religions, and they wouldn't judge so much, I guess.
Sometimes I've had some happy surprises with it, you know. I'll be like, well, you know, like a coworker will ask me, maybe I should, well, I'll just go ahead and tell them. I tell them, and they're excited about it. They're like, really? Well, do you do this, and can you do this, and do you guys do this, and oh, are you allowed to tell me that? You know, and it would be really cool that they would be, you know, excited about it and really honestly curious in a non-persecution kind of way.
Yeah.
I guess as an outsider, you know, and in the context, sometimes we build, you know, stereotypes against those of, you know, major religions, and we kind of group them all in together, and, you know, something that is fight against, but sometimes in your head you get those stereotypes,
Yeah,
and it's nice to have people break.
Emotional.
Yeah, and it's nice to see people break it to you, you know, break out of that stereotype, so it kind of gives you hope again that there are lots of people that are like that, and maybe the stereotype is just that, you know.
I think the more people learn about each other, and just, I mean, the more, you know, honest we are, and just kind of natural in the face of, you know, prejudice, you know, they'll eventually learn and become more tolerant because they've learned.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. I think that's the idea, especially with interfaith, because I'm a big interfaither these days, you know, just because you see the power of, you know, education or just dialogue, and how it just really makes people really accepting, at least in the best that I've seen. People have just become curious, interested. They might even, you know, delve into other religions themselves and find similarities and incorporate, you know, other cultures in their own. I mean, even in a place like Rome, you know, and we all think, oh, it's so isolated, but it's changing. I mean, why are we here? We're causing some impact, so
Yeah, most definitely.
everything's been, it's been interesting, but overall I think it's positive.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Sorry that we missed your call. If you leave your name and number and a message, we'll call you back as soon as we can. Thank you. Bye.
To page this person, press 5 now. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may or press 1 for more options.
Hi, Ms. This is Caitlin Kolarik. We are calling to get your interview, so just give us a call back.
Sorry that we missed your call. If you leave your name and number.
Mata Shri Mahapara Shakti Jaya Shri Mahadevi Jaya Mata Shri Mahapara Shakti Jaya Shri